drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. How you all doing? When you see me pop up on the screen, you know what time it is. It is that time to talk sports. This is the TFG Sports Show. I am your host, Kendrick. It's the best 30 minutes of sports talk on social media. I hope everyone is having a great start to your week, and I hope you're having a great Tuesday evening. It's also Taco Tuesday somewhere. If you're into those tacos and good things, I'm sure you are having whatever your little heart's desire. So again, I'm glad everybody is having a good start to your week. I hope you are. The weather is nice. I think all those triple digit temperatures are behind us here in Texas because it's feeling pretty good. The mornings are somewhat cool and the afternoons are still a little warm, but I'm not complaining because, again, if you know me, I like the warm weather. So it's all good. So again, hope everyone is having a great start to your week. Before we get started, make sure you come in, hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure you comment so I can holler at you so we can talk back a little bit. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's TFG Sports Media on YouTube. And make sure you like and follow the TFG Sports Media page on Facebook. Make sure you do all that. So we're gonna jump into the meat and potatoes, like I always say. But before we do that, I got some quick hits. Let's get some of these quick hits out the way. Then we're going to talk first thing off the bat is going to be NFL. My first quick hit is we had the battle of the running backs. And we're not talking about on the football field, in the boxing ring. This past Saturday night, Le'Veon Bell TKO'd Adrian Peterson in the 5th round Saturday night in Los Angeles. Yeah, there's some celebrity boxing match. You know, that's the thing now. Football players jumping in the ring. Now, according to a report I saw on Bro Bible, according to this report, that Le'Veon Bell received $250,000 to fight Adrian Peterson. And according to the same report, that Adrian Peterson only received $15,000. I don't believe that report. I think somebody didn't get the information correctly because I'm quite sure Adrian Peterson got paid more than $15,000 to fight Le'Veon Bell. But again, that happened this past Saturday night in a celebrity boxing match. Le'Veon Bell has said that he is done with football and he plans to pursue his boxing career. Adrian Peterson hasn't officially retired. He said last week that there's 3 teams that he's interested in joining, and all 3 of those contenders are Super Bowl contenders. So he wants to join. So he hasn't officially retired. And Adrian Peterson is 5th on the NFL all-time rushing list as well with over 15,000 yards. So we'll see if he gets back on the football field, but they both need to stay out the ring because that match wasn't all that great. All right, my second quick hit came down today, breaking news some hours ago. Phoenix Suns majority owner, as well as the owner of the Phoenix Mercury, Robert Sarver, has been suspended by the NBA for 1 year and fined $10 million after a league investigation into hostile work environment within the Suns organization, which included the use of the N-word, allegedly by Robert Sarver, as well as misogynistic activities going on and making women feel uncomfortable in the workplace. So again, majority owner of the Phoenix Suns, Robert Sarver, has been suspended for 1 year and fined $10 million. He's not happy with the suspension and the fine. I'm quite sure he isn't. He's more unhappy about the fine, but I think Sarver has a lot of money, but I know $10 million ain't just something you just want to give away. But again, he's been suspended. Someone asked, will he be stripped of his ownership? I doubt if that would happen. We've seen these owners, this isn't like the Donald. It's almost on the same thing as the Donald Sterling, the Clippers. But the thing with the Clippers, that thing had been, Donald Sterling had been a trash owner for decades. So I don't know. We'll see if Sarver will eventually maybe give up his share of the Suns and the Mercury. Now, my last quick hit for the night. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders at Jackson State, was on a coach's call at the SWAC coach's call on yesterday. And he says that, and I quote, this is Coach Sanders, if we're going to get our butts kicked, shouldn't it be worth it? And what he's talking about is HBCUs playing these schools. The Power 5 schools pay schools to play them before the conference. But the thing about this is HBCU schools don't get the same amount. let me just give you a rundown on a couple of schools this past weekend, which was upset Saturday, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Marshall, who played Notre Dame, received $1.25 million, and they ended up beating Notre Dame. Appalachian State received $1.5 million and went to Texas A&M, and they beat Texas A&M. And Georgia Southern made $1.4 million, and they went to Nebraska, and they beat Nebraska as well. So those, they getting $1 million plus, you know. So that's what Coach Sanders is talking about. Hey, Shantae, thanks for joining me. Good to see you. So the most paid to a HBCU school thus far this year has been Southern University, who made $750,000 when they went to LSU and they lost 65-17. So Coach Sanders said, if we as HBCU schools, we're going to take these games, we got to be getting more than $300,000 in all this. So I get what he's saying. So again, we're going to keep our eye on that story and see if the HBCU schools can get a little bit more love. My last quick hit is on Steelers linebacker for the TJ Watt. A lot of people thought he was lost for the season. Where word came down is that he does not have a full pectoral tear, and he doesn't require surgery, and they're looking at him only missing 6 weeks. So that's good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. HBCU pride. I know that's right, Shantae. I'm with you. Charles, Coach Prime is right. What's the point of getting beat down? Exactly. If you're not going to get, if you giving me $250,000, that's not even covering our expenses. So a lot of these schools got to fly there and all this stuff. So by the time they get all that, I mean, come on. But anyway, so I'm going to keep an eye on that story. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as the days progress. Now, let's jump into our first hot topic. We're talking NFL recap week 1. You know, I know everybody was in what they call it, overreaction Monday yesterday. You know, some teams look great, some didn't look so great, and some just look average. But it's only week 1. You still got 16 more games. Well, let's run down a few of these games. Obviously, 49ers at the Bears. The Bears end up winning that in a rainstorm. It looked like, man, they was in the flood. They won that 19-10. The Browns at the Panthers. It was you thought it was a revenge game for Baker Mayfield. He played okay, but they ended up losing that at the very end, 26-24. Browns win that. The Chiefs at the Cardinals, that was no contest. Chiefs beat them 44-21. Patrick Mahomes looked like he wasn't missing Tyreek Hill whatsoever. The Raiders at the Chargers. That was a good one. I thought the Raiders were going to win that, but Chargers ended up pulling that out. That was another AFC West showdown early in the schedule. And the Chargers did win that 24-19. And last night, Broncos at the Seahawks. Russell Wilson on his homecoming, and he got booed. I was surprised. Doggone, they booed him like, boy, like he was Future or somebody. I'm like, man, I wasn't expecting him to get booed like that. Shantae says, not looking too hot for my team this season. We're going to talk about them in just a second, too, Shantae. We're going to see. Charles says, we lost in the monsoon. We'll be okay. Bang, bang, Niner gang. I got you, Charles, again. Overreaction Monday. I'm not the type to overreact. Let's wait and see where everybody is come beginning of November. But anyway, we got to have something to talk about. But last night, the Seahawks ended up pulling that game out 17-16. I thought that try to kick a 64-yard field goal was kind of crazy. Why not go for it right there? Nathaniel Hackett, and I don't know if him and Russell Wilson are on the same page, but that was a head scratcher. But anyway, that was some of the scores on some of the games. Shantae says, but it's still Dallas Cowboys for life. I know, Shantae. I know it is with you, as well as most of you Cowboy fans. Charles Moore says, Paul Hackett, head coach of the Broncos. No, Nathaniel Hackett has some explaining to do. Right. Yeah. I didn't understand that either, Charles. Why not go for it at that point? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's why we don't get paid the big bucks. All right, let's talk about a couple of games. Bengals at the Steelers. I had picked the Bengals to win this game. Joe Burrow was throwing up interceptions like he was passing out tacos on Taco Tuesday. This game was very entertaining. Again, Bengals had 5 turnovers. Joe Burrow he was 33 for 53 for 338 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, but he threw 4 interceptions. All-world wide receiver Jamar Chase had a great game. He caught 10 for 129 yards and 1 touchdown. I was just interested to see what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was going to look like. and it looked pretty vanilla. Mitchell Trubisky, average quarterback. He's kind of like the Trent Dilfer of this, in my opinion. He reminds me of Trent Dilfer. He manages the game. That's pretty much all I would say. How you doing, Miss Williams? And thank you for joining me as always. We always appreciate you watching and your support. Well, Mitchell Trubisky was 21 of 38 for 194 yards, 1 touchdown. Wasn't too bad of numbers. The Bengals led in total yards. They pretty much dominated this game for as total yards wise. In time of possession, the Bengals had it twice the time of the Steelers, 43 minutes, 43 seconds to 26 minutes. First downs, the Bengals had 32. The Steelers only had 13. The Bengals dominated this game in all aspects of the offensive categories, but those turnovers will come and bite you in the butt every time. And that's exactly what happened to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Pittsburgh Steelers did have a scare. The defensive player of the year, TJ Watt, didn't finish the fourth quarter. Charles says Steelers need to put in Kenny Pickett. That is, I know, you funny, bro. Not me. I definitely can't do that for him. But yeah, you're right. I think it's going to be. I think by week 4 we're probably going to see Kenny Pickett, Charles. I'm just saying. It may be before that, but I think we're going to see Kenny Pickett before it's all said and done. Again, it's just week 1, another AFC North Division game. It was right off the top. I will say TJ Watt, news came down today that he won't require surgery for that partial torn pectoral, and they've only expected him to miss 6 weeks. So again, that was the Bengals at the Steelers. Steelers 23-20 in overtime. That's that AFC North Division. So there's only one game, so we'll move on from that game. Now let's move on to my Packers and Vikings. And I did not go with my fandom because I try to be impartial. I picked the Vikings to win this game because I just thought the Packers offensively, the receiving core offense, I just wasn't feeling really good about it. And my feeling was right. The Vikings win 23-7. That was the largest margin of victory for the Vikings over the Packers since Rodgers have been the quarterback in Green Bay. This wide receiver in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, hey man, this cat is the real deal. He caught 9 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. He was running through the Packers secondary like he was running track, like it was 7-on-7 drills or something. Wasn't nobody covering Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins didn't really make any he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't throw any interceptions. He was 23 for 32, 277, 2 touchdowns. And Minnesota's defense, they just had it. Zadarius Smith, he was a dog. He made life uncomfortable for A-Rod back there. Speaking of A-Rod, he was only 22 for 34, 195 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. And the leading receiver for the Packers was a running back, A.J. Dillon. He caught 5 for 46 yards. You ain't going to win no games like that unless we was playing back with the 49ers time. And as I say that for Charles, Packers need to call ODB. Yeah, but he ain't going to be ready till November, Charles. I'm with you. I'm definitely. And Sammy Watkins, he was missing an MIA. So, yeah, the Packers got some issues. Got to tighten up in their secondary, but the Vikings did look good. But again, there's only one game. The Vikings did look good. Both teams ran for over 100 yards, but Packers had 2 turnovers. Vikings didn't have any. Again, most of the time, the team that wins the turnover battle normally wins in the NFL. So again, the Packers at the Vikings, they lost 23-7. So the Vikings sit in the top NFC North at this moment. Now let's move to Miss Gibson's team, DC4L for life. Let's talk about this Tampa Bay and Dallas game. Tampa Bay comes in the AT&T with 45-year-old Thomas Brady, the oldest quarterback to ever start a game in the NFL history. Sunday night, they beat the Cowboys 19-3. But the bigger news was the Cowboys lost their quarterback Dak Prescott. It looks like he's going to be out maybe 6 to 8 weeks. But then Jerry Jones went on 105.3 The Fan today and said that they're not putting Dak on IR. So what that means is he has to miss a minimum of 4 games. So he can be ready for that 5th game. So the way Jerry's talking, that he may be back within a month. Julio looked good. Yeah, you're right, Charles. So what that means is, then there was reports of were they going to look for another quarterback? I mean, at this point, Cooper Rush is who they're going to start. Yo, what's up, the Real Estate Insider? Thanks for dropping in, my brother. Always a pleasure for you dropping in. Charles Moore, have no fear, Cowboys fans. Cooper Rush is here. Exactly. So, again, Jerry Jones is on the fan today, and he said that they're not going to be looking for a quarterback because at this point, they're not putting Dak on IR. Again, like I just said, that if he had to be put on IR, he was going to have to miss at least 4 games and beyond. But if he doesn't go on IR, I'm sorry, if he goes on, if he doesn't go on IR, he can come back whenever. So if he had to go on IR, he had to miss a minimum 4 games. So he's not going to put him on IR. So man, Jerry is acting like those coaches who pump him full of media and send him back out, meds and send him. Yeah, I know, and that's the thumb on his throwing hand. So I don't know. Again, Jerry is talking like they think he's going to be ready in 4 weeks. He had the surgery yesterday. I don't know. But anyway, back to that game. Even before he got his thumb, man, Dak didn't look. He was missing receivers going and coming. The Cowboys and Bucks came into this game having the top 2 offenses from last year. But let's be honest. The Dallas Cowboys offense is totally different from last year. Amari Cooper's gone. Lyle Collins gone. Cedric Wilson is gone. That ain't the same offense. Charles says Jimmy G is available. Yeah, but he has a no trade clause. They talked about that too. Jerry said that, I mean, it would take him 2 weeks even if they traded for him to come in and learn the offense. By that time, look, according to Jerry, the Dak would be rounded into shape. So why do that? Why make a trade? Again, Jimmy G has a no trade clause, and he would have to tell them, have to refute that or like, okay, I'm cool with it. So again, Jerry said that they're not, and Steven said they're not looking to go for a quarterback. They're going with Cooper Rush. They bringing up Will Greer from the practice squad to be the number 2 quarterback. Anyway, so the Cowboys offense, I think, is in trouble. Brady improved to 7-0 versus the Cowboys in his career. He has never lost to them. The Cowboys D look pretty decent, only holding in the 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. I give the defense props. Michael Parsons had 2 sacks, and he looked pretty good. But then the Cowboys get bit in the butt again. They still hadn't fixed their penalty problem. They had 10 penalties for 73 yards. That team is still undisciplined. I don't know what it is. Pre-snap penalties. Terrence Steele just saying it. Charles says, with that offense, it would only take a day or 2 the max to learn. I don't know, Charles. I wouldn't say that because every offense has its own intricacies and differences. So I still think, and Jimmy G, I think he's a solid quarterback, but I still think you got to come in. Now, if you were talking about Tom Brady, yeah, I could see that. Jimmy G ain't Tom Brady. He's manageable, but he ain't that guy. So I don't know. Again, I'm just saying. I'm just reporting what Jerry said. They're not looking to do that because they think that it would take longer to bring a quarterback in and for him to learn the offense. They were talking about Mason Rudolph. Why would you bring in a 3rd stringer? That would be dumb. Some name Cam Newton. I don't think Cam is the guy for that offense, and I don't even think he's vaccinated. So anyway, so again, the Cowboys, it ain't the end of the world, guys. This is just week 1. I think the Cowboys do have a tough hill to go because Cooper Rush, he had that one. I think that's the game that he's going to ever be always known for against Minnesota. I think that's the best game. That's going to be the best game of his career. So I just say, hopefully y'all can get the Cowboys can get that run game going and maybe move on from there. And they got the Cincinnati Bengals coming into town this Sunday, so it ain't going to be a cakewalk because the Bengals are smarting from that loss. So they got to figure out how they're going to contain Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and all them cats. So good luck with that. All right, so that's our NFL recap for week 1. Let's move on to our next topic. We're going to run through these. Whoa, Tide. Not Roll Tide. Whoa, Tide. Bama escapes Texas 20-19. Did anybody see that? That was a heck of a game. I know I had Bama winning by at least 3 touchdowns. Charles said it's the end of the world for the Cowboys. I see a top 5 pick for DC4L. I don't know, man. Again, we still got 16 weeks to go. I don't think it's time to put teams in a category if they trash I just think until we get to around November, the NFL is that type of league. You could be the worst team in the league in September, worst team and then you can get on the roll. So I'm not gonna say that just yet. Give them 4 weeks. We'll see where they at in October. But Roll Tide, Bama wins on a last-second field goal, and there was some questionable calls in this game. Shante says hook 'em horns almost had them. Yeah, laughing. They did. And let me give the Texas Longhorns some props. That defense, they balled. They was some dogs on that defense. They made Bryce Young look pedestrian until that last drive when he looked like the Heisman Trophy winner that he is. But Bryce Young, he only threw for 213 yards. He was 27 to 39, 1 touchdown. And again, the biggest run of the game was that 20-yard scramble from Young into Texas territory with less than 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. That pretty much sealed it for the Longhorns. Hook 'em horns almost had them. Yeah. And the thing about, man, they lost their starting quarterback. Charles says Texas didn't look good. Bama looked bad. Texas got cheated on a few calls. I agree that there were some bad calls. Their defense looked good. I think their defense did look good. It could have been some bad offense, but I think Texas defense did look good, in my opinion. I thought that Texas, though, their quarterback situation, Quinn Ewers, looks like he has a broken clavicle, so he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Hudson Card he's got a gimpy ankle or something, leg extremity, so he's going to be limited. So they looking like they may have to go with that redshirt freshman quarterback they got. So we'll see. But back to Bama, that was Coach Saban's 53rd consecutive non-conference regular season win, and the Bama just keep on rolling. When you're a good team, I always say this: great teams know how to win ugly. Sometimes you just ain't going to beat you on your best game, and sometimes that other team is going to give you their best shot, and that's what Texas defense did on Saturday. They gave Bama's offense their best shot, and they made them look pedestrian. But don't get it twisted. Bama ain't that bad, guys. But again, I salute Texas for keeping this game the way it was, because they really should have won that game, because Bama really did not play well. But again, great teams know how to win ugly. They know how to win a game when they are not playing that well. So Card he replaced Ewers, and he was 14 for 22, 158 yards. Texas running back Bijan Robinson had 130 total yards, 75 receiving, and 57 rushing yards. Now, again, they all can't be pretty. Exactly. Texas defense, they held Bama to 5 for 15 on third down conversions, only 213 passing yards again. So, again, Texas, hats off to you. Y'all played a heck of a game. I definitely, they may sneak into the top 25 with that performance. I don't know. But, again, I give it up to Texas. Hats off to you. They got UT San Antonio coming to town, I believe, next weekend. So maybe they can take out some frustration and get another W for Texas before. Again, this may be a matchup. They're going to eventually beat SEC foes in the next couple of years. So Texas and Bama, get used to looking this. Yeah, Robinson, running back from Texas, NFL ready. I agree, Charles. All right, producer, next topic. Let's keep it rolling. College football upset Saturday. Again, that's what I was just talking about. And, man, let's talk about upset. Texas almost had one, but they couldn't get it done. But Marshall went into Notre Dame and beat number 8 Notre Dame 26-21. Number 24 Tennessee went in. I think that was in Pittsburgh. They beat Pittsburgh, number 17, 34-27. Appalachian State went into Kyle Field and upset number 6 A&M 17-14. Washington State upset number 19 Wisconsin 17-14. Number 20 Kentucky upset number 12 Florida 26-16. And number 9 Baylor lost to number 21 BYU 26-20. And probably the biggest upset that got the coach fired of all this Saturday was Georgia Southern went into Nebraska and beat Nebraska 45-42. The next day, I think Monday, it was Monday, Scott Frost was fired after starting the season 1-2. Now the associate head, Kentucky, they did that thing, Shante. Associate head coach from Nebraska, Mickey Joseph, will take over the rest of the season, who happens to be an African-American and will be the first African-American, even though he's an interim head coach in Nebraska's history. So hopefully they give Mickey Joseph a shot to become the permanent. Charles says, Lord, I'm sure plenty of people lost money this college football Saturday. Yeah, brother, they did. Now, Frost will receive his full $15 million buyout. So don't feel sorry for Scott Frost. He's going to be all right. And Nebraska under Frost was 16-31 in his 4+ seasons. And if you didn't know, Scott Frost has a connection to Nebraska. He actually played for Nebraska from a quarterback 95-97, and he was on the winning national championship team in 97 and went 13-0. He probably got fired on the field laughing out loud. He should have. And then, it all started with that dumb call he made the first week, 0 week, when Nebraska played Northwestern in Ireland, and I think Nebraska was up like 28-17 in the third, and he went for a stupid onside kick, and they didn't get it, and Northwestern recovered, and they went down and scored a touchdown, and Nebraska ended up losing that game by 3 points. So that was the beginning. I was like, okay, that was the stupidest call. You up by 11. Why would you go for onside kick in the third? Anyway, so that I think that was the beginning of the end for him. Nebraska was easy like Harry Hines. Sante, that's hilarious. I'm gonna have to use that one. I'm gonna steal that one. I'm gonna put that one in my mental Rolodex. Oh no, that was Charles that said that. Oh, okay, Charles, I'm gonna steal that one. I got to put that one in my mental Rolodex. That was hilarious. But anyway, so if anybody don't know what Harry Hines is in the Dallas Metro, well, let's just say you can use $40 on Harry Hines if you don't know what Harry Hines is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'll let you figure that one out. So that's college football upset Saturday, man. Everything college football. I'm an NFL guy, but I do like college football. And like I say, I think now we done got to the point where a lot of these mid-major colleges, they can play with some of these Power 5 schools. So Shante says, is it crack? Why would you do that? Up by 11 and doing stupid stuff. Yeah, I don't know, Shante. So that is our upset Saturday. I think, do I have one more topic, Mr. Producer? If not, we can fly. I think I'm going to fly, but I can't remember if I had one more. I think so. Oh, yes. Yeah. Real quick. We'll just talk about this. Mavs, Luka Doncic is is possibly suing his mother. What happened? The thing is, I read across this article on fadeaway.net. Mavs, Luka Doncic, all-star, took them to the Western Conference Finals. He came into the league. He was drafted at the age of 19, where he trademarked Luka Doncic 7. And at that time, when he trademarked that at 19, he made his mother basically like over that and sign it. She gave her the legal rights to trademark or do whatever to make sure his brand is the way it is. Well, 3 years later now, obviously Luka has blown up. He's been an all-star again. He wants to take control over his brand, Luka Doncic 7. Well, Mama's saying, I don't want to give it up. So now, according to reports, Luka Doncic has in June of 2021, he's already drawn up something with his lawyer to get that contract basically rescinded that he originally signed to have his mother kind of be the controlling of his brand. I just think that, and we talked about this on TFG last night. I think that you hate to see families. Is it a wise idea to even allow your family member to be like your manager or in control or agent? I don't know, because they always say don't mix love with business, and you probably don't want to mix family with business either. So I can see. My thing is, I know Mama's been there the whole time, and she sacrificed for him, and I understand that, and I definitely believe that Luka should take care of her. Now, I don't think she should have to be trying to control his brand. He's a grown man now. Let him control his brand, and I feel like Luka would do the right thing. I would hope so. By his mother, unfortunately, we've seen this situation too many times. Charles said last night on the show, left tackle for the Cowboys, Tyron Smith had to get a restraining order put in his family. Shante says, I can't blame him for that. Hate to see it, but come on, Mom, he's grown now. Exactly. Yeah, Charles made mention of that. And then I thought about the Kobe Bryant and his parents' situation when his mother was trying to sell his memorabilia, his high school stuff, and Kobe had bought him a house, and it was contentious. And you just hate to see a parent and their child go through this, especially at this point. So hopefully, Mama and Mavs, Luka Doncic, hopefully they can figure this out and don't have to go through the courts, go through the legal system, because that's when a lot of times it really gets nasty. And I hate to see that, and I don't want that to be a distraction, especially with the season right around the corner for the NBA. So anyway, Luka, Mama, y'all get that together, man. Hopefully everything works out for y'all. All right, my final thoughts is not going to be too long. I just want to give props and say happy eternal born day to the late, great Tupac Amaru Shakur. His born day is today. He would have been 51 years old. It's hard to believe. Charles says nobody wins when the family feuds. Exactly. It's still kind of hard to believe that we lost Tupac Shakur at the age of 25. He was 25 years old when he was murdered. But today is his born day. My favorite Tupac, he's in my top 5 favorite rappers list of all time. My favorite Tupac album is Me Against the World. And that's the one with Dear Mama on it, So Many Tears, Temptations, and all that. So I just want to salute, hats off, wish Tupac Amaru Shakur a happy eternal born day and keep resting in power. Before I get out of here, my man Charles, I want to thank you for dropping in. Shantae, thank you for dropping in as well. Miss Williams was in here for a second, but I also want you guys that's watching, make sure if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to TFG Sports Media on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media on Facebook as well. Comment here. Make sure you share this. And also at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central, make sure you go check out the wrap-up with that guy Charles Moore and Lamar Falk. That's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on Lamb Levity YouTube channel. Them cats, they're going to give you something that will entertain you. You might want to put some holy water on your computer screen or your phone after you watch it, but they're going to entertain you. Go check them out if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share. Miss Williams, thank you so much. I always appreciate your support and keep watching. And make sure you go support them fellas again over there. Again, that's the wrap-up with Lamar Falk, and Charles Moore. That's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on the Lamb Levity YouTube channel. Again, thank you guys for watching your boy. I'm Kendrick. This has been a TFG Sports Show. You all enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great week, and you can catch me here again at 6:30 p.m., 7:30 Eastern on Tuesday. I'm out. You all have a good one. I'm out. Peace.
I press the button and the doors go up. Whoa, that money clip us now. The new now looks like whoa. Upgrade her diamonds now. Her girlfriends are like whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record it, drop. You can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes. I'm always boarding.